Hi guys, welcome back to The Makeup Hunter. Thank you for joining me again. I hope that you're having an absolutely wonderful day, night, morning, whatever time it is you may be sitting down to watch me. In today's video I'm going to be doing sort of a shop my stash, although the actual process of me picking the products I've already done. I did that at the beginning of January and I've been using the products since the beginning of January. So whilst this isn't a normal shop my stash, I did think it would be nice for me to go through the products that I've chosen, my reasoning behind the products I've chosen, and then when I do my shop my stash in February, when I go through my product rundown, you'll be familiar with what I've chosen. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in watching, then please do continue to watch. I would really appreciate it if you gave me your feedback on the videos that I'm filming at the moment by way of the like button and the comments section. The like button is just down here, it's free, it doesn't cost you a penny, and it really helps me out. Also, if you could subscribe to the channel, this would also let me know that I'm doing something right. It's also free and it means the absolute world to me. So with all that being said, let's get into the video. Okay, so my previous video that I filmed was my makeup resolutions for 2022, and in that video I discussed the plans and goals I've set myself in relation to the channel and my makeup collection and consumption. And I also talked about the fact that I am going to be doing Project Pan for 2022, and my Project Pan is 25 times 25, so I've picked 25 products that I want to hit 25 uses on or finish. In that video I talked about how I would envision the project going, what products I wanted to have the 25 uses on, what products I wanted to finish. So I will be talking about Project Pan items a little bit in this video, but for more information do check out that previous video. So first things first, we'll start with the primers that I have got to use for the month of January. And the primers that I have chosen are within my Project Pan. They're only sample products. I want to get these used up completely before I focus on the full size primers within my collection. So I have the Milani Prime Perfection. This is the primer that I am wearing today. I don't have a huge amount of this left, but this is a deluxe sample size, so you do get quite a few uses in it. It's an okay primer. It's nice and hydrating, leaves a nice base for my makeup, foundation blends on top of it, so using that one. I also have the Estee Lauder Wake Up Balm. This was also a deluxe sample that was in a Christmas gift, and this is a skincare item, but I am using it. I used it the one day as skincare and realised how beautiful it was as a primer, so I put it in my primer category. So that one is my second primer. Then for foundation products, in my Project Pan I have several samples, and I also have a full size item. So my Project Pan full size item is the IT Cosmetics CC cream. I have two of these. This is in the shade Light. I want to get this one used up, as I mentioned in my Project pan video, because this is my fake tan shade. And I did have a fake tan over Christmas, hence why I pulled this one in my Shop My Stash, but my fake tan has now gone completely and I am super pale. So whilst I had only pulled this full size one originally, I have had to add in my NYX Born to Glow to my Shop My Stash, because this is one of the lighter foundations within my collection. So I mix these together and it makes my perfect shade. I realised this when I filmed that that Project Pan and Makeup Resolutions video. Looking back at the footage as I was editing it, I realised I was a little bit tangoed. I was very orange. So tonight I pulled this one and added it into my Shop My Stash. I absolutely love this foundation anyway, and mixing it with this one makes a beautiful combination. I also have 5 sample foundations that are in my Project Pan, which are obviously also included in like this month's rotation. So I have my Huda Beauty Glowish sample. I have a sample of exactly the same, the IT Cosmetics CC cream in the shade Light. I have 2 Dior Forever foundation. This is the matte foundation, and I have the Dior Forever Skin Glow. I'm a bit of a mixologist. I like to mix my foundations together, which is why I pulled all the samples for Project Pan. Not only do I want to get rid of all the samples in my collection, I also love mixing them in, and they're the perfect little mixing sizes. One of my favourite combinations that I've discovered over the last couple of weeks is the IT Cosmetics and the Dior Forever, the matte foundation. Mixing these two together gives me like a perfect medium natural finish. Concealer, I only have in my Project Pan concealer, which is the Nabla Close Up. Then for powder, I have again just my Project Pan powders, so Chanel Le Beige Healthy Glow and YSL Soufflé d'Eclat. For bronzer, I have my Project Pan bronzers. So I have my Hoola by Benefit Quickie Contour Stick. Excuse me. I have my Danessa Myricks Vision Flush Sampler. I use this shade Toasted Almond as a cream bronzer. It's the cream bronzer that I've used today, and I also use the blushes and will use the highlight. I do have a full size of this one, but before I pull that I want to use the sampler, and you get quite a lot of uses in that sampler. My powder bronzer that I have again is my Project Pan. This is the Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess. This is just a deluxe sample, and this is the bronzer that I have layered over the top of the cream bronzer. So moving up, I promise there is non-Project Pan items in this Shop My Stash. So for my setting spray, I have my Colourpop Pretty Fresh setting spray. This is a beautiful hydrating setting mist. Smells gorgeous, but it is one of the older products in my collection, so I thought, and also while my skin is like extra dry at this time of year, this is the perfect setting spray to use. I've also pulled in for this month my MAC Camel Coat Paint Pot to use as my eye primer. I only have 3 eye primers in my collection, so I will be sort of rotating them out regularly, like constantly, rather than using one every month and keeping it in. One that I am keeping in is my NYX glitter glue. This is the glitter primer. It's what I have on today to hold a loose pigment on, and I always forget to use this. I just put my shimmer shades on a dry lid. I never wet a brush or anything like that, and I thought I need to start using it, so I've put it in my Shop My Stash bag. For brows, I only have my Project Pan items in. Because this is the first month of doing Project Pan, I really wanted to like have a solid focus on my Project Pan items for the first month or two, and then I'll start rolling in like alternatives as well, but just to give me a good jump start, I wanted to have a month, maybe 2 months of just solidly going strong with my Project Pan items. So for brows, I've got the Milk Kush Triple Brow Pen. This is what I have through my brows today. It just gives me a little bit of a tint, and it makes them look a little bit shiny and glossy. And then I have my Benefit Gimme Brow for a tinted brow hold. Then for eyeshadow palettes, I wanted the focus this month to be on my singles, as they are items within my collection that I really do neglect. Oh, I've just realised Chip's upside down. There we go. There we go, that's better. I really do neglect the singles in my collection. Mainly my big palettes of singles and my like Colourpop Super Shock shadows, so I wanted to have a focus on those this month. So I've named this palette in my inventory my Basic Bitch palette. So this is my Z palette full of Makeup Geek and MAC singles. This is all I have remaining from my huge selection of singles that I had in my professional makeup kit. I gave all of my others to my mum. She thought it was her birthday when she had them all. I had, I think, 3 big palettes full of them, and I just kept the neutrals because for me this is my absolute perfect neutrals palette. Majority of it is mattes, and then I've got some shimmers for brow bone and inner corner on the top row, and I can create absolutely any look with this palette, from super soft to super glam, and it's a perfect companion palette to the other singles that I've pulled in. So I've also pulled in my Colourpop singles palette. So this is my Colourpop single shadows, and then I've got the highlighter and the blush. So the blush is called Noodle and the highlight is called Angel Food. And then what I'm going to do is at the end I shall do some overhead shots, and I'll do swatches of everything, so you can see them better than sort of like doing it this way. And for some single lid shades, I decided to pull a few of my Colourpop Super Shock shadows. So I've pulled 3. I have the shade So Quiche, and I was wearing this in my makeup resolutions video. I have the shade Hot Tamale. She's this gorgeous like red base with a lot of bronze shimmer through it. And I also have the shade Sixth Sense, which is this gorgeous yellow gold, and this one's super shiny and metallic. So I also decided that I talked about this in my makeup resolutions video, that I have decided to use my Shop My Stash as like a chopping block situation. So each month that I do my Shop My Stash, I'm going to pull some items from my collection that are on the chopping block that I'm not sure whether I want to keep in my collection or I want to declutter. And I had several loose pigments from Inglot. I've also got 3 from MAC, and I never ever use them. I've not used my Inglot pigments since I bought them about 5 years ago, something like that, 4 or 5 years ago. And I thought that I would be getting rid of all of my loose pigments, but since pulling these into my Shop My Stash and using them, I've really fallen back in love with loose pigments. I have one on my eyes today. It's what's in the inner corner. So I've got excuse me, my voice today is terrible. So I have the shade 127, which is like a white gold with a pink reflect. And then I have this one that I'm wearing today, which is the shade 126, and this is a stunning bronzy gold. And if you can hear any noises, Ray is behind the camera and he's snoring, so he looks so cute. He's got a dicky bow on. I bought him a dicky bow, Harris tweed lead collar and dicky bow set, and he just looks so cute. He's fallen asleep on a pile of my clothes. So next, for the eye category, I have eyeliners. Another chopping block situation was my Colourpop cream gel liner. This is in the shade Overboard. I have it on my waterline today. It's a lovely bronze colour, but these break on me constantly. This is actually, the whole stick is loose in here. And I've had several of my liners from Colourpop do exactly the same thing, and they make a huge mess. So as much as I love this colour and I think it looks beautiful, I love the formula, it makes me angry because it constantly breaks and it makes a mess. And this chopping block situation has made me realise that I'm probably going to declutter every Colourpop cream gel liner from my collection. I also pulled an old favourite. This is MAC Duck. It's just a brown like coal pencil. Goes with every look, goes nice on the lash line, in the waterline. It's great. And another one that was like a chopping block item to force myself to use was my fluid line from MAC in the shade Deep Down, which is just a cream gel liner in a lovely rich chocolate brown. And since having this in my stash, I've really loved using it for creating like a graphic liner shape and then like filling in and smudging with shadow. So this one I think was a great one to put in because it's forced me to use new products, use older products in my collection that don't get any love, and it's also got me using and trying new techniques, which is what a Shop My Stash is so great for. Okay, next up, I did miss a couple of no I didn't, I haven't talked about blushes yet. So blushes and highlighters. So I have the blush and the highlight in my Colourpop palette. I have the cream blushes in that Danessa Myricks sampler, which is in my project pan, and then also in my project pan I have 2 sample blushes that I'm going to be using. So I've got a mini Milani Luminoso, and I've also got a mini NARS Orgasm. Both like radiant blushes, but I think they're the type of colour that will go with absolutely anything. I wanted something a little bit different to those that are in my project pan, so I also picked the Inglot Duo that my mum gave me. So in here are 2 blushes. These are super difficult to get out, the magnets are really strong, so I'm not entirely sure on the numbers of these at the moment, but I've got a flat matte mauvey colour, and then this beautiful nude one which looks like super pale in the pan, but on the cheek, it's what I've got on today, it's actually a lot stronger than it looks, and it has a lot of sparkles in it. But I thought this would be a great like layering blush, and this one would be awesome with the cool tones in my Colourpop palette. Okay, and onto highlight. Another item that I pulled to force myself to use it is my Ofra Feeling Myself palette. This is just 3 minis of their super popular shades. Of late I've been into a much more subtle highlight, often foregoing highlight altogether, and these are super blinding, but I sort of wanted to force myself to get some use out of them, as I've really been neglecting the powder highlighters in my collection, so I thought this would be a good one to use. And then moving on to, oh, I've just got to finish eyes. So mascaras, I've got my Project Pan mascaras, which is just some samples. So I've got KVD Go Big or Go Home, Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push Up Lashes, I've got Dior Iconic Overcurl, Estee Lauder Sumptuous Extreme, and the Estee Lauder Double Wear Mascara. So I didn't bother pulling a full size one for my top lashes because those are all more than enough, but I did pull my Kevyn Aucoin The Volume Mascara. This is a tubing mascara and I love it for my bottom lashes, and while this isn't in a project pan, it's really the only mascara of its kind that I've got in my collection, so you'll probably see that in several Shop My Stashes. And now finally on to lip products, and I've chosen kind of a strange variety of lip colours this month. I wanted to, even though we're wearing masks and everything and lip products are not as big of a thing as they once were, I wanted to push myself to use some of the different colours in my collection rather than going for my nudes and my browns all the time. So the first lip product I have in here is my Project Pan lipstick. This is Matte Q, and this is a perfect colour to mix with other lip colours. In fact, I tend to use this over the top to like lighten up a deeper colour. It's the lipstick I'm wearing today with a lip liner and a lip gloss over the top. Another nude, so I wanted to have a couple of nudes, but I wanted a slightly different one than I usually go for. So this is Virgo Moon by Colourpop. It's a sort of a deep peachy nude, and it's the Velvet Blur formula, so it's a nice, very soft, subtle lip, and these two are awesome together. So those were my nude options, and then I wanted something to have that like unusual pop of colour. And to go with the Inglot blush, I pulled my MAC Quite the Thing lipstick, which is this gorgeous glossy berry shade, and I thought that would be lovely for this time of year as well, because it's a bit of a deeper colour. And then I've also got, and I was wearing this in my last video, like my makeup resolutions video, this is YSL number 27, and this is the Rouge Per Couture formula. I wanted a pink, but I wanted like a winter appropriate pink, and I have several YSL pinks that are super bright and in your face, but this had a little bit more depth to it, and I felt so gorgeous in this lip colour. It's really beautiful colour, and it's a nice shiny glossy formula. And then as it's January, I wanted to pull a red in, so I've just pulled one of my Dior 999 samples. I have 3 of these. I'm not including lipstick samples in my project pan. I keep one of these in my handbag, and I've got a couple in my collection, so I just pulled this for a nice festive red. I haven't used this one yet, but that's just a sort of a go with anything red. And then I pulled my Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in Fenty Glow, one of my favourite lip glosses. It just goes with absolutely everything. And then for lip liners, I have my 2 excuse me, my 2 Project Pan, sorry, my Project Pan lip liner, which is the shade 852 from Inglot. I'm wearing this today. I didn't bother picking a pink or a red because 852 is such a pale nude. It's pretty much my skin tone, so it goes with every lip colour going. And then I've also got the shade 854, which is a deeper brown. So those are all the products that I've picked for January. I am sorry that this video is coming to you a little bit later than usual and in a different format, but I hope you enjoy it nonetheless. So now what I'm going to do is show you swatches of all the items that I've pulled for January. Okay guys, so I'm going to go through and swatch as many products as I can for you. So obviously I'm not going to swatch any foundations, concealers, powders, that sort of thing, but I will go through and do swatches of blushes, some eyeshadows, lipsticks, that sort of thing. So sorry about the noise. Ray is getting himself comfortable on the pillow that I am leaning against. Right, okay, so first of all, let's go through some of the eyeshadows. Oh, I'm so messy. Okay, so this is my Basic Bitch palette, as I have named it. Most of these are mattes. Some of these top row are shimmers, and then some of them have like a more satin formula. I have a mix of Makeup Geek and Colourpop, not Colourpop, Makeup Geek and MAC in here. The ones that sort of stand up higher, I'm not sure whether you can tell, so like these, this white one, they are MAC. So let's just pick a few random ones to swatch for you. What I'll do actually is I'll swatch some of the ones that I have on my eyes today. So the first one that I have is Rapunzel from Makeup Geek. which is a gorgeous champagne shimmer. Then I have, trying to remember which ones, then I have this brown, which is MAC texture. It's quite a cult MAC classic. It's a beautiful warm toned brown, and this one is like a satin formula. Then we have this shade, which is MAC Rule. The MAC ones aren't magnetised, so I've just got them kind of locked in place with the Makeup Geek ones. And this is a beautiful orange. I have quite a light wash of this on my eyes, so it's not super pigmented, but as you can see, the pigment is definitely there. And then to deepen things up a little bit, I have the shade Cocoa Bear from Makeup Geek. So that's 4 of the shades that I have on my eyes today. And let's just swatch another couple of random ones for you. So this is one of my favourite shades. This is Desert Sands from Makeup Geek, and this is the original Makeup Geek formula from years ago. So that is Desert Sands. I mean, Makeup Geek's formula is just, it's perfect. It's not too pigmented, it's easily blendable. The shimmers are quite subtle, but you know, they do what they are supposed to do. I did have a lot of her foiled pigments, but those were the ones that I gave to my mum. I can actually, as I'm getting more into my singles again, I might be stealing some of those back from her. And then I've also love this shade Bitten, which is a classic Makeup Geek shade. It was one of her really popular ones. So yeah, that's just a look at this palette. It's just my perfect palette. Okay, and next up we have my Colourpop singles. I chose these shades when I purchased them because they were like holes in my collection. So they were shades that I don't really have a lot of. Obviously a lot of duochromes and shimmers. So the shade that I have on my lid today is this one. I think this is called Super Zoom. Yeah, Super Zoom. And this is the gorgeous like blue green that I have across my lids. And then some of my favourites from here. This is the super popular Glass Ball, which is an utterly stunning shade. It's like that blue brown that at the time you didn't see a lot of places, but now the world and their mum has done the shade. I also have the shades Tea Party, I think it is, or Teaspoon, no, Tea Garden, which is a stunning green gold duochrome. And then this one, Baby Lights. I'm not very good with these names, am I? And that's more of like a lime green reflect. And then I'll just swatch a couple of the mattes. So I have this lovely emerald green matte called Conjure Up, which is kind of like the matte version of Super Zoom. I'll swatch it next to Super Zoom. Super pigmented. And then I have this turquoise, like this brighter turquoise, which is the shade Formation. So I just thought that would be a fun palette to pull. They're colours that I don't wear very often, but mixed with my other singles just to anchor them, I thought I could create some really pretty looks. Okay, and I'll just swatch the blush and highlight that are in here. So I've got the blush in the shade Noodle and the highlight in the shade Angel Food. So both pinky tones, which I thought would be really nice with the more cooler tones that I've chosen. And I thought Noodle would look amazing with that lipstick from YSL. Okay, and now on to some of the... Oh, actually, I'll swatch the single shadows in components that I've picked. So my pigments and Super Shock shadows. So firstly, Super Shock shadows. So I've got the shade Hot Tamale, and I've had these for a while, but they are still okay. They haven't dried out yet. So that's the shade Hot Tamale. Then I've got the shade Sixth Sense, which is a gorgeous yellow, yellow gold. Stunning. And then I have the shade So Quiche, which is a really unusual duochrome. So it's like a purpley green with a taupe base to it. It's really unusual. And on the eye it has a lot more like scattered glitter. It's gorgeous. And then I'll swatch the pigments for you. These are absolutely stunning. So this is the shade 127, which is white gold with pink reflect. Absolutely gorgeous this is. And I've discovered these are stunning as like one shadow looks, just pressed all over the lid. And then this is the shade 126, which is this gorgeous fiery orange gold. And like, how pretty would that look tapped over Hot Tamale? I just thought that would be a really gorgeous look. And you can't really appreciate the sparkle in these on camera, but yeah, absolutely love this little selection. Okay, I'm getting very sparkly now. Let's swatch my Inglot blushes. So as I said, these are really difficult to get out of here, so I'm not 100% on the shades, but these are those. So I thought this beautiful cool toned like mauvey purple would look great with the shades in my big like singles palette. And then this like nude sparkle one doesn't look like much swatched at all, but on the cheek it's really beautiful. These swatches aren't brilliant, but these blushes are. They are really, really amazing quality. All of the Inglot powder products are brilliant. I will just swatch my Project Pan blushes so you can see sort of the range that I'm working with. So this is Luminoso. I'm sure everybody knows what that looks like. And then again, I'm sure everybody knows what NARG. I always say NARG, but NARS Orgasm looks like. This isn't my favourite, but it is a nice layering blush. So those are the blushes. And then highlighters, I've got my Ofra Feeling Myself palette. And these are the shades, see if I can remember. Blissful, Pillow Talk, and Rodeo Drive. Am I right? Yes. Was I? I think I was, yeah. So, Blissful, Pillow Talk, Rodeo Drive. And they're just so blinding. I used to love a blinding highlight, but I now find it a little bit intimidating. There we go. And I'm actually wearing Rodeo Drive today. A tiny amount really buffed into my cheekbones, forehead and chin, just to give me sort of a glow rather than a go faster stripe. So those are my highlights, as well as obviously the Angel Food one in my Colourpop palette. And now what I'll do is I'll wash these swatches off and we'll go through the lipsticks. Okay, and for lipsticks, these are what I have chosen. Whoa! My god. Okay, so firstly let's swatch my basic nude. This is MAC Hue. Obviously this is the one that's in my Project Pan. It's a very pale peachy nude. Then we have Virgo Moon by Colourpop. So MAC Hue is very creamy, and Virgo Moon is the Velvet Blur, so it's a matte, sort of a soft matte that is designed to sort of be blotted out onto the lip. So this with that on top looks stunning. Then we've got my bright pink. This is the shade 27 by YSL in the Rouge Pour Couture formula. Then I have my red Dior 999, and they've now brought this out in several different formulas. There's the satin, the matte and the metallic. That is just the satin. And then I've got MAC Quite the Thing, which is quite a sheer glossy. You can see it's quite shiny with some little shimmers in. So those are my lip combos. And then Fenty Glow. I am going to swatch it, but I'm sure absolutely everybody knows what this looks like. It's just a lovely, suit everybody peachy nude. And then for my lip liners, so this is the shade 852 from Inglot. It just goes with absolutely everything, and I absolutely adore the formula of these Inglot lip liners. And then this is the shade 854. And then finally I'll just quickly swatch my eyeliners, just so you've seen all the colour products then. And hopefully this doesn't break on me. I mean, it's an absolutely stunning colour, and the formula is quite nice. It's not the best, but it's okay. It's just that they break so easily, and I've since discovered better formula, easier to access in the UK, and you know, they don't break. The NYX and the LA Girl ones. So this is MAC Duck, which is just a lovely neutral brown. So that's everything. I'm going to lay everything out on the tray now so you can sort of see it all together, and then we'll put it in the bag. And there we go. It's a lot less than I have been picking previous months. I really did try to limit myself this time so I could focus on fewer products and get more use out of them. But when it's laid out like this, it does look quite a lot still. Okay guys, and that brings me to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate that you've shared your time with me. Please do subscribe to my channel to see more from me, and give me a thumbs up if you liked this video. I'm not going to dwell too much on it or go on anymore. I already did so in the intro, but have a wonderful day, week, month, year. I hope that you are looking after yourself. I hope that you are loving yourself. I love you, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching guys. Bye.